There we go. Hopefully I got the chat to work this time. Make sure my mic's on too. I had to re-upload the Stream Elements chat. So we shall see if that works, but I'm just copying over the link for the live stream to LinkedIn if anybody wants to join. I'm feeling exceptionally exhausted today. It's like for America, we had Memorial Day this weekend. Would you get out of here? Yep, cat. And it always feels like 4-day weeks are the busiest. So I tend to get a little exhausted because everything's crammed into 4 days. I'm getting more unhinged with my LinkedIn posts about Offensive Snark. It's just going to be snark one day. That's just the post. That's it. You'll know what it means if you follow me, so. Hopefully that hashtag was right. Make sure you don't misspell anything stupid. Let me see. I'm going to test my chat out real quick. See if I can chat to myself. Can I do a pop out? This isn't Hack the Box. This is the Security Rex tests her chat functionality on live stream. Would you get out of here? Go. And it still doesn't work. I have zero ideas. Oh my gosh, it worked. That's so exciting. Okay, so I can see it on my, okay, so I don't have to put up YouTube on the side. I'm here. I can see your chats. Super duper. That made me sound like something from Fallout, so sorry about that. Okay, so now the logistics aside, let's close out. I got my screen right here of all of my recording stuff, so I can see myself. Okay, where do we come back to? Okay, so we started Love last time on Hack the Box. It's an easy retired Windows machine. I did a little research on like the PHP and some of the other things that we had found. So to give a quick recap of where we ended last, first of all, let's go up here, make sure everybody can see that. So we did an Nmap scan. What we looked for was just anything that was just public facing, an easy exploit, if you will. So there were a couple of HTTP/S ports. There was some SQL. There was some PHP in there. And so we had found ourselves kind of looking at the available web servers, web pages. We were specifically looking at port 80. There's also a port 443, which if you navigated to that, it wouldn't let us do anything. It was telling us that, it wasn't, we didn't have access. And then there were a couple of lower facing ports, like, we've got MySQL on here. There was a port 5000 down here that has like an actual PHP. It was like it's another web server, but when you go and you try everything out, we'll go here, and I had pulled up HTTP port 80 already because that's the easiest one. So we go to port 80, we get this voting system, and then we go to port 5000. We don't have permission. Double check to make sure that we're in HTTP or HTTPS. That doesn't work. Try HTTPS. Doesn't work also. Okay, and let's just give 443 a try. No, I want to go forward. Accept the risk. Forbidden. Okay, so that's what we got. That's where we were. Pretty much everything that we got we were looking at port 80. That was just our very basic enumeration of what we had going on the box. And so we had talked about dogs are shaking and rattling. We had talked about the PHP possibly being a vulnerability. So we went over here to like try to zoom in any, because I noticed on the last video this was also small. Okay, so we were looking at stuff, trying to find PHP vulnerabilities, like trying to look at CVEs and things like that. So we kind of, you know, found what we did find. Nothing really like triggered anything super like, wow, like that's the vulnerability. But as I was going through our HTTP, oh, hey. As I was going through our HTTP scan, I noticed that we had some DNS resolution information. So we have some service info. It's got, you know, love and www.love.htb. Yeah, hack the box. So that led me to think, okay, well, let's think about the resolution of what we've got. You know, we know we've got an IP address here, so let's just navigate back to what we know is at port 80, which is this voter system. We had seen that we had some like admin index.php's, images, things like that. And we had also tried to do like we tried a little bit of SQL, like type very, very vanilla testing. We also tried admin, administrator. We tried admin. That one let us know that they couldn't find a voter with, oh, was it administrator? Couldn't find a voter with an admin? Was it admin? Okay, let's just double check real quick. I know on one that it said like that was the incorrect information. Let me double check my notes real quick. So yeah, we had this service info here. Let's go to the admin voting system. Okay, so this is where we were. Note that you're in two different spots. So one was the voter's ID password. So we tried, you know, we just did admin. Ooh, all caps. Admin 1 administrator, because sometimes when you are looking through these things, you can see that sometimes the vulnerability lies in the information that the website tells you. So if it tells you like, hey, that user doesn't exist, but then in the same breath tells you, well, the password is not right for this user. Okay, well, now we know that password's right. So I'll give you an example of that. So with our scan, we found that port 80 had all of these, it's a little small too. Just try to get it a little bit bigger. So port 80 had all of these like little directories that you could kind of traverse. So anyway, we went to admin, you know, like our IP address, port 80/admin. And then it gave us something a little different that was like sign in to start your session versus previously it was your voter ID. Now it's asking you for your username. And this is where I think it said, hey, your password's incorrect, versus when you type in administrator, that username doesn't exist. Can't find a user with that username. Can't find an account with that username. So that's interesting because we know that somewhere in the database, behind all of the smoke and mirrors of the outward facing server, we know that there is an admin user, a user by the name of admin. So we'll just put that in our notes. IP port 80/admin. There is a user with a password we don't know. We could try admin. I think we tried admin password. Admin. Oh, that was admin password. Admin. that doesn't work either. Okay. So, does not need to be bold. So what's the password? So maybe that's what we need to look for. Instead of trying to find a vulnerability that is exploitable initially, a lot of the times it's like low-hanging fruit, and I hate that term, but I don't know what else people call it that are of sound and sane mind. But you want to find things that are easy, I guess. More likely than not, when you are on an engagement or doing some sort of pen test, you are going to... My husband's trying to turn off his speaker so it doesn't blast music or video games. He's trying to switch over to his own headphones. More likely than not, when you are on an engagement, you're going to find like misconfigurations or, bad credentials or things like that aren't necessarily, they're not necessarily exploitable, like flaws, I guess. Like you could, but I don't know the ratio or the percentage or the statistic on that. But I'd reckon to say that majority of your engagements, you're going to initially access something by a misconfiguration or bad credentials. I'm just going to double check to make sure, because new window. You're going to open me a new window over there. I'm double checking to make sure that I'm not crazy and thinking that my YouTube chat is working, because I closed out this and I don't want to miss anyone. So it's fine if nobody's chatting. Okay, super. I just wanted to make sure because that could be going crazy. Cool. Okay. So that being said, let's try to look for something that has the password. So all of this information is a lot to work with. We had talked previously about, there's a 445 and a 3306 port. So those are like SMB shares and things like that. We can work with those, but I like to start at the top first and make sure that I've enumerated everything on all of my easy ports, like my HTTP. Make sure that I've looked through everything before I start diving into the next one. It's that methodology thing. For me, that's the easiest way to do it, because if I see port 80, I'm slapping that shit all day long. Like, that's what I'm going after. But sometimes it is an SMB, and I will not touch SMB until I have hit all of port 80 or all of the like web server vulnerabilities that I possibly can, or at least have dug into them. And especially with these like lab boxes, like they're not perfect where this is exactly what it's going to look like in a real world. It's not. You're probably not going to have Susan just having her password in a text file on her desktop, right? Like that's silly in a real world situation. But for these, you can kind of think through. It helps you get into the mindset of practicing that like step-by-step thing that works for you. So works for me. I know that there's a port 5000 here too. I don't know if that is, I wanted to say that was HTTP as well. So what this tells me is there might be like a front end server and a back end. So maybe some sort of capability that we can access through some sort of directory traversal through some of these ports. It gave us a, forbidden, you don't have access, but sometimes that's just to the index page. For example, when we look through all of our port 80 pages, we might not have access to port, 10.10.10.239 port 80, but we might have access to this /admin. It's just the way that people have set them up. So that's what I'm going to focus on right now. And so what I want to do is I want to get some more information about our service info and maybe figure out if there's some ways that we can maybe there's some more domain names attached to our IP address that we already know, that we already have access to, those are the things that I'm looking for. I want to also look for any additional, you know, TXT files like robots.txt. I just want more information about the things that are already accessible to me. So the scan that I ran originally when I ran this Nmap scan was just a service and an HTTP enumeration scan. That gives you a lot of information, but it does not give you the whole picture. And I think we looked through the icons and the images pictures, or the icons, images, includes directories, and they didn't really yield anything. And we also tried some stuff with that, this index.php. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can and cannot do with those. So essentially what I want to do is just look through. I have my notes here because I kind of like turned away at this a little bit earlier. So, because it's not as fun to watch someone chug away at research on a live stream. That gets exhausting and super boring. So what I wanted to do was try something like Derb or GoBuster to see if I could pull anything from the IP addresses I already have. So if you're not familiar, actually I need to see if I even have those two in my Kali box because I didn't look. Let's see if I have Derb. Okay, so I have Derb. Basically what you can use this for is it searches your, it's like a scraper for websites. It searches through with a word list to see if common keywords come up in your in the IP address or the domain that you're interested in. So that's one thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and run that real quick while I keep talking because let's change HTTP 10.10.10.239. Yeah. So this uses this word list, this common.txt, to see if there's any like administrator keywords. It looks for keywords basically. Like you're using word lists like John the Ripper to identify if common phrases or common words or common passwords are like the hash of the password that you've identified already that you're supplying. So it compares those two. So things like Derb and GoBuster use word lists to scrape the web pages and things like that to identify if commonly used phrases and keywords come up in any of those things. There's also, you know, while that's running, we can look through. I'm not exactly sure how to do it with, I want to say you can look at the certificates. You can look at like the certificates that are assigned to a website. I don't know how to do it on Mozilla because I typically use Chrome, like shameless Google plug, but I typically use Chrome. So I could probably look it up really quickly. Okay, so let me see how to look up certificates in Mozilla Firefox. Tools, options, advanced. Oh, if it were only that easy. Actually, I bet it probably is that easy. More tools. No, that's more tools, excuse me. Tools, options. Help. Help me. Well, I don't want to. Okay. So you can use developer tools too if you. Let's see if I can. I could use page source. Okay, let's look and see what we can find. Nope, don't need that. Debugger. What I want to find is the certificates I use. See, like, okay, so I'm going to do it really easy over here because I know. I mean, this is what, you know, it tells me my connection is secure and it tells me my certificate is valid over here in this little corner. So I can pop out my certificate and see, hey, I just Googled something on Google. The certificate name is Google and this is the domain name that it resolves to. Easy peasy. But either that information would be right here, I would assume, but then it doesn't give me like more information on it. So whatever, it's fine. We can figure it out a different way. There's several different tools you can use to do this. Kali Linux get certificate information, terminal, certificate. Oh, thank you, Gemini. Open SSL. Path to circuit. No, I don't want from IP address. From IP address. I'm a bad speller. I'm not a bad speller, but I'm a fast typer, so I just hope to God that autocorrect helps. Okay. Okay, I don't want to waste my time on that. I'm not in the mood. Okay, so we've got some admin stuff. An aux. We got a code 403, which is the not authorized. Also, I think a 302 is a redirection. Yeah, that's a redirect. Because this is going to take a minute. So then we just sit back and wait. I mean, I guess I should have done this before, but I didn't, because... Let's see. Let's look up. Okay. Let's just look up the difference between Derb and GoBuster, because they're both website Derb versus GoBuster. Because I'm going to have to use GoBuster on this if Derb doesn't pull up stuff. They're different. It just depends on what mood I'm in. R hacking. Perfect. Love a good community. This is so hard to view. Zooming in. At least we're getting some stuff in the background, I see. I like Fuff. Okay, well. Nobody asked what you liked out of those three. Feroxbuster. Yeah, I've heard of that one. Go Buster. When you want random bullshit, go brrr. I need to make a better sound. Feroxbuster. Wonder what that is. Maisie, just chill for like 30 minutes. I got a cat tree right here, so. Feroxbuster. What the heck is a ferox anyway? Ferric oxide, thank you. Forced browsing. Ooh, like it's a web crawler. Well, it's a web crawler, but it's also so much more. I mean, but it's like it uses brute force combined with a word list to search for unlinked content like robots.txt and admin and stuff like that. So these take Maisie. Oh my gosh. Just take a chill pill. So at the end of the day, all of these are good tools. It's just some perform differently than others. A lot of people I like WinPs. A lot of people like other scripts that do the same, but different when it comes to like enumerating windows and, you know, so it's whatever your cup of tea is. So Feroxbuster is one that you could use. Maybe I'll try that instead of GoBuster if I cannot find. Oh, but then it's going to make me install it. I don't even know if I have GoBuster on here. This is a pretty fresh Kali box because I had to. Do I want to download it? No, I don't want to because right now I'm setting up bandwidth to do Derb. This is the slow part. Slow. Okay, let's see what other scans I can run. There are some others. So I just want to, really what I want to do is enumerate quickly without giving all of like the brute forcing stuff. Because Derb is going to take forever. And the only reason why I'm just like sitting here is because like sometimes like this is just what it is. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna go make some ramen and wait for the scan to run, and hopefully it'll be done in 4 hours. You know, sometimes you have to like work on other stuff while you're doing this. So it's like if you're sitting here running a scan like this, it's fine. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it is slow and tedious sometimes, and it's not always fun. It's not like I'm in. It doesn't work like that. So let's see. What are my in-map arguments that we can actually... I want to run in-map arguments. I want to run more detailed HTTP scripts. So I already did HTTP and oops. Bonk. I got my chat up and nobody's here yet, so at least I got it up for next time. It's a Thursday night and it's 9 o'clock, so it's not that big of a deal. It's 9 o'clock here anyway. Yes, advanced enumeration is what I want. I don't want A, I don't want SC. I already did HTTP and script scanning, version screening. Okay, thank you. Not helpful. Unhelpful. Okay, let's look at some of the... If that's going to be slow, then I'm going to look for some other stuff because I don't have the mental fortitude to sit here and stare at all of that. Let's see if it's pulling. What I'm doing here is just I'm looking through some of the code that's used to build the website back here, and I'm looking to see if it's pulling any I had made a comment earlier about, like, I assume that this is a front end server, like it's a forward facing, this is the front end maybe, and there might be a back end that we can like dig into a little bit. So what that could mean is there's some elements that we could be pulling from on the okay. My mic cord has a short in it, so I bonk it and then it all goes, like, it all disappears into infinity. Okay, so what I was saying was there might be some stuff on the back end that it's pulling from, and I want to see where some of that stuff might be coming from. So I am just looking in the I'm just looking through these, just whatever I can find. I might have to reload this too to see. Okay, it's got a get function. If I reload it, what it's doing is it's getting something from somewhere. So just looking for anything obvious. Now we do know from our notes that there is www.love.hackthebox. So typically when it comes to like servers, that might be like the forward facing DNS, but there's typically like a developer.love or like a what else do they, there's like a, typically when you do WordPress, for example, it's like admin.wordpress.com, or, you know, something else that's not supposed to be forward facing and accessible. There's a big thing that I've seen, vulnerabilities with servers that are public facing, and the reason why people do this is because it's convenient and easy to access the backend server from anywhere, from any public like repository, but like you open the door to anybody trying to brute force or get into your like server from the backend. So typically what we tell people to do is to place their developer domains behind like another firewall that's not exposed to the internet. Because if we can find something here we know that it's exposed to the internet, and in a perfect world, if this was not a hack the box machine and it was actually a real machine, that would be forward facing to anybody. Like someone in, you know, Japan could access it, but you're based in California. So that is something that's very common that I see. The convenience is there, yes, for everybody to access it, but also super insecure because it is just not, those developer sites are not meant to be public facing internet sources. Let's see what Derb's doing. Oh, it's so busy, which we already knew a lot of this stuff. Let's see if we can go. Yeah, my husband's being goofy over here. He's no, I don't want the walkthrough. That's cheating. Well, because I put the www. Okay, so let's see. That's not gonna work. Because it's gonna keep directing me to let's see if I can do HTTPS or HTTP. Love to hack box. Of course, it's gonna give me. Okay, well that's something that works. Well, I mean, it pulls up something more than we had before. Hey James, how are you? I'm glad that my chat's showing back up. It makes me feel like I'm not gonna accomplish this box, but I'm gonna fix the chat feature. Okay, we knew index.php worked, which was fine. So all of these 403s just mean we don't have access to them. Unauthorized. Don't worry about the second one. This size, I don't. And I said it was a 302, which is a redirect. But I thought it was a redirect because it was the HTTP code, but it's not. It says size, so don't come at me. Okay, it's been a long fucking day. It's Thursday, man. Okay. How are y'all doing tonight? I'm doing great. This is the slowest scan ever, but it's worth it. Is it worth it though? Because then you sit here and you run these scans and then you're like, fuck, like that resulted in nothing helpful. And I just sat here for, we're going on 13 minutes now, maybe, of just like sitting here with no, like, no, okay, I'll give it. It's been 10 minutes. Excuse me. Maybe it's not been 10 minutes. I don't know. My start time is different than my... Oh God, has it been 13 minutes? Okay, never mind. We're just waiting. We're just trying to find robots and things like that. So again, what I am trying to do is I am of the impression that because we have a front end something, that we have access to at least the knowledge of, okay, there's an admin user. It's somewhere in here. I want to find the back end. So what I'm trying to do is scrape the website, scrape any DNS information that I can get. That might be a good thing to look up too. I don't use DNS like, I know that there's a couple of tools. I don't use them very often because I don't need them, but that'll be something good to look up. Wrong one. Oh, there's Google. Okay, let's see. DNS name, resolution, Kali Linux, because I don't use these very often. I'm sure it's like going to come up and be like, oh, that's easy. I know there's like one off the top of my head that they teach you specifically on like when you're like going through like the basics of learning pen testing and stuff. It's like, oh, use this for DNS resolution. It's like MX and TXT and all of this stuff. And I cannot for the life of me remember. It goes to show how little I use it, I guess. How do I want to DNS resolution. I want to do DNS resolution on Kali. Tool. I guess I could use DNS recon. Dig. That's what it is. It's dig. Fuck. fucking dig. If you guys like metal, I know you've heard the Mudvayne song. That's a good song. Dig by Mudvayne. Go check it out. Okay, so how I'm just gonna look up the man page instead of trying to Google it. Okay. Dig. Do we have dig? Should have dig. Oh yeah. Okay, so let's dig at our 10.10.10.239. Let's see what that comes up with. There's a couple of ways that you can do this. There's like added flags and things like that I can't remember off the top of my head, so I will have to look those up. Dig. How to use dig. How to dig. Man, dig. So if you ever need to look up anything on your Kali system, you can Google it, of course, but you can also do man and then whatever the tool is. Like, it's the man page. So sometimes you can do like the tool tac help or tac H, but man, I have yet to see something that doesn't have a man page with it that's like a native tool to Kali. So they're like, you know, ones that you would download off GitHub that might not have those, and you might have to actually use like the help feature. I do the same thing. I keep tapping my mic. It's like I cannot stop. I cannot talk without my hands. What a freak. I don't know what to do with my hands. Okay. Anyway. So I really want to do is just resolve any... Oh, first off, I'm going to see what old Derb is doing. Why do I have so many terminals open? My God. Oh, nothing of use yet. Okay. So let's dig server name type. How? I'm just gonna Google it because I don't have time for this. How use dig. How dig use. Okay. How to use the dig command. Thank you for listening to me, Google. Yeah, it's like dig. I see Jessica's comment on using dig for Security Plus. That is where I remember using, or where I remember learning it when I was studying for my Security Plus. But I just don't use it because there's all like these like cool tools that you use for pen testing and stuff, and it's just like then you get to the point where you're like using all the cool tools like the Derbs and the Go Busters and Ferrix Buster, and you forget all of like the simple ones, like just dig, just run a dig, just dig, dug, do it. Okay. Anyway, moving on. I really just okay. So let's quit this. I know that there's a couple of ways that we can add like an A to it. I know it's on a mail server, an MX exchange, address record. That's what we would think that we want. Directly maps a host name to an IP address. So there's that. The DNS of the server to query. Oh yeah, I got that. Dig Google. Well, what if I dig www.love.hackthebox? Okay, well, 143. Is that like an external IP address, I'm guessing? Okay, well, we got this IP address. Don't think that we can do anything with it because we're not in that. Yeah, that's a YouTube stream. It was still stuck in my clipboard. Entering directory admin. Thank you. You are so slow and so not helping me. Come on. I don't think that's going to resolve anything. Yeah, that's going to resolve the same thing that we just tried to at this one right here. But I'm not looking to resolve a new IP address. What I'm trying to do is resolve any DNS names that are related to the IP address that we currently have. I don't need an external. I need IP address to names. Specific DNS server. Any. Well, let's try that. I want to use the IP address though. What's any? Oh, well, okay, thanks. That's not helpful. Okay, did I just get disconnected? Okay, no. Let's try TXT. Let's just look up. I want to resolve any domain names related to an IP address in Kali Linux. People will tell you all day long that you have to have these like specialized ways to go about querying things on Google. Just look it up in human terms. Don't let people like make you feel bad because you are looking up like basic human terms in Google. Like, oh, well, that's not the tech way to look up stuff. Pfft, fuck them. Just look it up how it makes sense to you. Okay. Linux commands to translate a domain name to an IP. No, I want the opposite. How to get a host name from an IP. I wonder if this will work. Sometimes you just like yeet commands at stuff and then you just like hope that shit works. NMB lookup. You know, it's important that I show you this. It's important that I show you the struggle because I'm sweating right now because I thought I had figured this out before getting on here, and then I'm sitting here looking like a total dumbass. It's like I don't care. That's fine by me, but I just feel like such a goober because you think that you're like, yes, like that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And then you get on here and you're like, the fuck am I doing? And maybe I'm not articulating it correctly in my way that I'm looking it up. Server can't find it. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Just waiting for something. Maybe I should have done the derb command offline and then like shown you what it was afterwards after it came up with something, because like at this point this just sucks. So really what I really want is to, so I've gotten to port 80 on 10.10.10.239. I am not concerned about port 443. Usually HTTPS server or HTTPS is not the route that I want to take. What I really want to get after is this 5,000. That's what I want. I want to know what's on 5,000. How do I get there? That's what I want to figure out. And of course it's going to go through the whole thing. This stream is like hella boring. I'm sorry. Because this is what pen testing and hacking is. I mean, I've said it before, it's not glitz and glamour. It's like the most boring shit. Just waiting. But it's so fun when you get to the point where you're like, yes, I did it. I worked hard on that. Like, I spent hours. I'm sweaty. I am exhausted. But I did it. Like, I got the flag, or I got, for me, I like report writing. So when I'm on an engagement, there's not a flag to get. You're not looking for, a flag. You're looking for like the vulnerability, or looking for that, like, yes, that script created a reverse shell. And then I'm like, that's it. That's what gets me excited, because it's different. When you get the gamification of things like Hack the Box, there is like a tangible, yes, I did this because I won this prize, which is the flag. Versus when you are doing real life engagements, it's completely different, because you're just waiting. Like, I'm just sitting here waiting for this Go Buster to finish. And then suddenly I see, like, hey, this web server's got this thing on it. And I'm like, that's it. And then you just dig into that more. I honestly think that real life offensive security is more rewarding, because there are multiple times where you can get that kind of high where you're like, I did that. Like, I got to that I exploited that vulnerability. Like, good for me. I am a good pen tester. Versus Hack the Box, like that high for me really is like at the, I got the flag, yay. Voting system. I did look up in my research a little bit of information about like whether or not the voting system was exploitable, and it actually is not just unique to Hack the Box. There were a couple of I wonder if I can. Ooh, that was a quick turnaround for that music. I thought it was over. Control plus. Okay. Search exploit. Voting system. So there's actually several exploitable CVEs, or proven proof of concepts that are for something called voting system. And so doing a little bit of research, this is not really what we wanted to do with this box, but just know, oftentimes it might seem like something is, because of the gamification of Hack the Box, something might just be Hack the Box silly, like www.love.hackthebox or HTB is not a real website outside of this like domain, right? But like the exploit for something called voting system might be realistic. So just consider all avenues of approach before you deject something and say that it's not what you're looking for. It's just a thought to keep in mind, but I thought that was interesting, because I was like, oh, there are actually some remote code executions for like a voting system. So I don't know if it's that voting system or if it just says voting system, but you never know. So what else should I try while this derb is scanning? Because I'm trying to think of how to articulate better what I want to get out of this box. Really what I'm trying to do is figure out any connections that this IP address has to other domains or other domain names or other IP addresses within like what is publicly, I keep saying publicly facing, what is available to me, assuming that I'm just a user on the internet doing this Hack the Box lab. If it was real life. So I'm trying to think. just going to run another in-map scan real quick. I am going to, not you. Let me see. I'm gonna probably run the same in-map scan that I already did. And going to run a fast scan over. Shit. Is it scripts? Damn it. I forgot the last in-map scan that I ran. Nope, it's not here. Okay. In-map scan to enumerate all domain names on IP. Scan all resolved IP addresses for a given domain name. Let's try that. I don't know. I'm in a mood tonight. Like, I'm in a just like a, I don't know, a bouncy mood, I guess. Script resolve all. Let's just copy paste that because I just am feeling lucky. Sometimes that's all it takes. Okay, but you really have to resolve all hosts equals example.com. But I don't want example.com. I want Nmap has a script to do this. How to do this? Well, I don't want the whole thing. I don't like script arguments. Okay, no. I really just want the script. Let's do 10, 10, 10, 2, 3, 9. Let's give it a go. Script resolve all. If this works, it's like I'm adding this one to my arsenal, so. My music is so quiet yet so rock, I guess. Someone that's commented, your name is Kerfuffle, and that's exactly how I feel right now. I feel like I'm a kerfuffle. I'm in a kerfuffle. I like that name. And of course, now everything's gonna be as slow as possible. That's fine though. This just adds a new layer of offensive snark in the sense that this blows. Like, it's so fun when you're getting on a roll, but it sucks because getting to that like snowball, it's not, you just might sit here and just like, I don't know what's going on. I'm waiting for my scan and I don't know if the scan that I'm waiting on is going to result anything. Service UPnP. Thanks, that's UPnP. Hi, cat. Universal plug and play. So like a Plex server. Dig, no, I'll answer, multi-line. Is that, Britt, are you telling me to put that in the command line? A cat that wants to join me. This is my cat Nugget. She is one of 4, and she's getting down now because she wants too much attention. Okay, I'm getting rid of these PHP tabs because Feroxbuster. I wonder if this Feroxbuster is easier. It's quicker because Derb is like damn slow. Let's just give it a whirl. I'm here. I'm here. Let's just do it. But I don't want to. Oh, apt no, I do not want to apt update already. Well, I could apt update, but if there's something that's gonna take forever, Lord have mercy, I'm gonna freak out. Oh, Lord. That's gonna take forever. Of course. 9 minutes. I cannot have y'all on here for mine. You're not wrong. You UPnP. Yeah, UPnP could be a great bathroom joke. That is for damn sure. This is totally off topic, but I found myself cackling and crying last night because there is a new thing going around about using AI to generate music. And I know everybody is a critic and says, like, don't use AI because you're not going to support the artists that actually do AI. But like, I shit you not, the the shit they come up with, the AI like that generates this music had me just like cackling. I'm not going to go into as vivid detail of what I heard online last night, but just go look up like AI generated country music. Actually, I'll just give you a totally off topic. I will give you the Instagram account to go look at if you want to have a cry, a good cry. It is beatsby.ai. That shit fucking sent me to a different dimension last night because it was so funny. And someone commented and was like, don't use AI to create music because you're not supporting artists that create music. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You were really gonna create music like this? Like, it was so obscene and just unhinged. No country music artist in their right mind would ever speak the things into existence that this AI did. Like, it was insane. It was hilarious. So yeah, go check out beatsby.ai if you want a good chuckle tonight. All right, Buster sucks. At least it's slow, and it could be my internet connection. And Derb might actually result in something, but it's taking eons. So I've sat here and shot the shit with you for an hour. And I know where I'm going with this, but I have yet, like, I've not accomplished anything with this box. I accomplished, like, exactly 0 with this box tonight, which is insane. But this is, like, real life. This is what it's like. I have a lot of fun talking to you guys, though. And if you guys have any questions or comments in the chat, I'll give another maybe 5 minutes to let Derb run because this shit is not going to end anytime soon. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run the scan or run, if Derb doesn't pull up anything, I'm going to at least run Go Buster or this Ferox Buster after I get off of live. And I will find what it is that I want to show you if it is available, because I don't want to shift gears and go into something else because I know what I'm looking for. And if it doesn't exist here, that's fine. I'm looking for specific things that are off of these like IP addresses, but if they don't exist here, that's fine. Then I can shift in that direction. But it's like an ADHD thing where if I shift into the other direction, I may miss something here and not come back to it. So it's just like, yeah, it's tough. So this is just the reality of it. But I guess a few key takeaways from this video is that it's totally okay to Google things you don't know in a human digestible, like a thought that you had. Like, I know what I have, I know where I want to be, so let me just Google that. And like, you can probably more likely than not find what you're looking for that way. There are a lot of people that really are finicky and nitpicky about the way that you search for things. Like, you must use search exploit or you must do this. Just Google it. It is totally fine. And then another thing is that this is not glamorous. This is slow and horrible. And the adrenaline rush is still there. It's just like, it's a toxic roller coaster, if you will. It is a lot of fun when you get to where you want to be, or when you get like an exploit or you get something like that. You find admin password, whatever we're looking, you know, I'm like determined to find admin's password somewhere in the trenches of this freaking network that we have. But, you know, it's also a lot of sitting and waiting and twiddling our thumbs and talking about like shitty country AI generated music. So it's fun. They really enjoy it. It just is, a lot of people need to realize what they're getting into before they get into it. It's not for everybody, which is fine. Vesty Video says to check out Trailer Park Princess. She's got more X's than teeth. So if that's so there is one that I'll say. I don't know what the song is called, but I don't know what they called it. There was one that was like, it feels even goofy even saying it, so it's hard to get out. But there was one song that this AI generated video was like, the song was like, I've got like trucks in the field and beer in my cup and beer in my boots and a I can't you have to go watch it. I can't. There's a lot of snark that I could do but like that was too much for me. So yeah, I know. I have children, okay. Parental guidance. So I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna let this run. Like I said, I'm gonna come back to this, and I'm gonna finish running the scans offline that I want to see if they populate anything. And if they do, then we'll come back with that. But if not, then I'll come back with a new way that I want to tackle this. Because like this shit's tedious, and now we're encroaching on an hour. Yeah, it's been an hour of just doing nothing. We didn't accomplish anything, but it's okay. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions or you're watching this later, leave some comments in the, in the section below. Love to hear your thoughts and your feedback. But otherwise, thank you everybody who did tune in. I really appreciate when you do. It's a lot more fun to do it than me like shooting the shit by myself. I'm fine with doing that. It's, I'm weird enough that I can do that, but it's always more fun to be weird with friends. So anyway, y'all have a good night, and I'll see you later. If I can stop the stream. Okay, bye.